Hi. It's definitely been a while. Just to clarify, this is not like me coming back or anything. Just thought I would get that out of the way. If you're just like a random viewer, you're probably confused. I feel like the only people who will see this probably already know what's going on, but I'll try to get straight to the point. Around a year ago, I was removed from the Infuse SMP and subsequently would disappear from basically everything, leaving no explanation or really anything behind. I think this is the part where I say I never wanted to make this video or whatever, but the truth is the thought of it has plagued me, even a year later. I don't think I've gone a single day without thinking about it at least once. Not necessarily the idea of this video as much as everything else surrounding it, which is kind of embarrassing to admit. I mean, my channel never had any insane traction, but it genuinely keeps me up at night knowing the friendships I ruined, the reputations I tarnished, and the guilt I feel. And I thought for the longest time, if I ran away from my problems, eventually everyone would just kind of forget. I don't know. Maybe I was right, and doing this is really only reigniting something I probably should have just left behind. I don't know. I just don't think that was ever the point of something like this. I'm not really making this in the hopes of a fantasy where I'm forgiven and everything goes back to how it used to be, because truthfully, I don't really think that it ever has been an option. Whether I want to realize it or not, this is something I need to move on and grow from. And part of that growing up is owning up to my mistakes. Not that I haven't changed at all. More so, this is a stepping stone and something I'll go in more in depth with later. Regardless, around a year ago, 2 screenshots of messages I'd sent were given to the then current owners of the Infuse SMP. The first screenshot was a message featuring an extremely lengthy docs of a large Minecraft content creator. The other was a screenshot of a folder with hundreds of NSFW AI generated images of a different Minecraft content creator. Both of these screenshots to my knowledge are real and are from sometime around May of 2023, which was when I was about 14 and was a little bit before I posted my first YouTube video. For some really basic clarification, neither of the material in these screenshots was created or originated from me. I don't think I need to explain how disgusting these are. It's hard to even imagine what kind of headspace I was in to ever think to send stuff like that. I can barely put into words how sorry I am, not only to the people involved, but to everyone else who was affected. I genuinely cannot begin to imagine how awkward of a position I put everyone involved in. Needless to say, it was insanely immature, not to mention the lack of any awareness for what I was doing. And waiting this long just to say sorry really doesn't in any way undo the damage I did. Running away from my problems was similarly immature. I didn't know how to ever properly handle a situation like this. And in that way, all I could really do is hope you understand. After all, this was a decision I made at that time, so I guess if there's anyone to blame, it's probably me. But I also don't want to pretend that pretty much anyone who's heard about this beforehand haven't already made up their mind about me. So I don't really want to make this something where I'm just begging for people's forgiveness, because again, that's not really the point of this video. I apologize if my thoughts are a bit scattered. Since all of that went down sometime late in October, it took a long time to adjust. Outside of the internet, I didn't really have any actual friends, or generally anything going on, which I kind of hate mentioning, not only because it's embarrassing, but I don't want this to seem like I'm saying it just for people to feel bad for me. Not having anything going on made leaving what was essentially what had been my lifestyle for the past few years really weird to experience. It took months to really return to any sense of normal for me, and even longer to start enjoying things again. While I was in the SMP community, I did basically the bare minimum to take care of myself. And managing social media accounts at that age made me incredibly stressed out. Since then, I've lost over 30 pounds. I've made a lot of efforts to take care of myself mentally and physically. And now I've been feeling better and doing things I actually enjoy. But somehow, I still can't say I'm actually happy. I've thought about my time in the SB community at least once every day since. It's become this lingering feeling I can't describe fully. And whenever I remember everything, I just get this sinking feeling in my stomach. in a lot of ways, I've come to terms with the reality I'm living in. But truly, I don't think I'll ever move on if I don't do something like this and actually acknowledge everything. I was a genuinely horrible person for what I did, and all I could really do is grow from it, which is partly why I've been terrified of making this. Obviously, there's a factor of how embarrassing this all is, but I always assumed posting this video is just making me going to feel the same way I did a year ago. That horrible guilt and loneliness that still hasn't fully gone away. In my head, I probably thought about making this video 100 different ways. I don't really think I'll ever be able to include all my thoughts in one. So I don't really want to waste anyone's time more than I might have already. I'm sorry for everything, even if it's a year later.